Now we're going to take a look at evaluating from a mapping. So we have our domain and our range, a little bit of vocabulary. Remember, domain are our x values, range is our y values. So we want to find f of 4. So to find f of 4, remember 4 is inside the parentheses, so that's our x. So we're going to be looking at the domain. And remember that our arrows tell us what it is paired with, so we can see that if the domain is 4, then the range is 7. F of 5, again, we look at the domain for 5, and we can see that when the domain is 5, the range is also 7. Lastly, find x when f of x equals 3. F of x is our y, so we are looking at the range. So when the range is 3, then the domain is 2. So our x value would be 2. Now we're going to take a look at a graph. So here we have a graph and we want to find the following values. The hint is that we first want to write the coordinate of each point so that we have some x and y values to look at. So I'm going to do that now. So now that I have that, I can look to see what is f of 1. So 1 is our x value. So I'm looking for coordinates that have 1 as the x. I see that there are two values or two coordinates that have 1 in the x. So that means that there's going to be two answers here. So that means that f of 1 is equal to 2 and 4. F of negative 1, if we look in that third quadrant, we can see that negative 1 is paired with negative 4. And we want to find x when f of x equals 4. So again, f of x replaces y. So we're looking for a coordinate that has 4 in the y position. And we can see that when y is 4, then x is equal to 1. Lastly, we are going to find or evaluate from an equation. So a normal equation will look something like this. Y equals 2x plus 6. We want to evaluate f of 3. We're going to rewrite that equation in function notation. So again, we just take the y, replace it with f of x. To find f of 3, what we do is we replace the x with 3. So I'm going to do that same thing in the equation. Take out the x and replace it with 3. Then I can simply evaluate this. I say 2 times 3 is 6, plus 6 is 12. So f of 3 equals 12. So again, I took the equation, I took out x, I replaced it with 3. You try. I want you to try the two problems below. Find f of 2, find f of negative 3, and then post your solutions in the discussion on Schoology.